So, how do you plan and how do you budget jobs? And if you're not doing this, you need to do this. So, in ProLine, we have a planning tab under our budget area, and then we have a final, which is connected directly to the invoices that were paid. So, the planning area is really, really important for sales reps, inside sales reps, and just anyone on the team needs to understand what was budgeted before the job was actually sold, and then even after the contract was signed. We need to know how much we budgeted for all these things. So you should know, depending on if you have employees or subcontractors, you know in general what your labor costs should be for each job. This job was a metal job, a standing seam job on a small home. We knew roughly how much we're paying per square for standing seam and based on the complexity of the roof. So we had an idea of what the material costs. We budgeted $14,200. And then we had a labor budget of $17,500. Now, this is going to be different for everyone, but you need to know your costs and you need to have consistency with any types of roofs that you install. So putting in all these different things like merchant fees if you do financing, commission if you do gutters, whatever things you do with your contract. If the total contract's up there, you need to understand your cost for that total contract. We budgeted $1,000 because we're removing an existing metal roof, and then we spent. We knew that it was a Google local service ad, and we knew around what it was for marketing, so we include that directly in, because it's a direct cost for this lead. So automatically everything's in there. We know our gross profit's going to be $17,635. We know that the gross margin is going to be 31.38%. And we're planning that for this job. So on the get-go, whether you're using an estimating tool or not, you need to at least understand this planning phase. So if you're using an estimator tool like in ProLine's proposal, and all of your material price list, we have a price list in there, making sure this is kind of a double check to make sure that you budgeted correctly. And then at the end of the job, we'll just see what's going on. So we were roughly around the same gross profit and the same gross margin, but there were some things that changed. We had an increase in labor costs, and actually we were under budget for material. So commission was the same because that doesn't really change that much unless there's something kind of odd. Dumpster was under, and then marketing was under. So we kind of made up for it. So we're still around 31% margin, 17.7 for the actual dollars, the gross profit dollars at the end of it. But I highly recommend using a planning tool like we have in ProLine to help you double check your estimates every single time. It also helps the entire team know, like, okay, now at the end of this job, we know we need to pay commissions this amount. We need to pay labor crews this amount. And we have an idea if there's something off with the material invoice from your supplier, like we budgeted 14 grand. Why is it 18 grand? And then you can see the variance or the slippage, as they say in the industry, between what you planned and what the actual was at the end of the job. I highly recommend doing this every single job, and don't wait till the end of the month. Do it as the jobs are completed, and have somebody on your team that's always looking at these invoices for both labor and material and anything that's associated with each job.